This episode of Inside Golf Podcast is brought to you by Inside Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Boston Capital Twitter Steve on the Hold the Green podcast.
All right, we are live. Tapping birdie.
All right, Carson Young is here.
I bet Ludwig at 28.
Let's go. I bet
You
him
did
at,
too?
I bet him at 25.
Low sevens. I think there's some guys in here we like.
Harris English at 7,300.
I love Brian Harmon at 3.5% this week.
What's up, guys? It's producer Cam here. ISN is now partnered with Shorty's Golf. Shorty's Golf is designed to provide kids with the perfect introduction to the game of golf by offering high-quality clubs and equipment specifically tailored to their need. They offer custom sizes for various age groups, ensuring that the kids have clubs that are tailored to their height and strength. They feature fun, vibrant colors and lightweight stand bags that are easily adjustable. Each set features real stainless steel clubs, high-quality materials, and sturdy construction, making them long-lasting while providing a real golf experience. So go check them out, golfshorties.com. Use ISN15 at checkout for $15 off your purchase.
Good evening, everybody. It's your boy Capper with Twitter Steve on the Hold the Green podcast for U.S. Open best bets. Apologies for being late. Like I said, Steve's camera was sick looking at him, so we had to shake it loose and get him back right. Steve, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good now. Just sitting here like Rory thinking about my 5-year plan and just having absolutely no answers for any of that.
I guess that's like a Big Daddy. What's his 5-year plan? Not to die?
Great poll, by the way. Very good. So no, we'll talk about that press conference in a little bit. I don't know if you saw it, but some interesting takes I have for that one. But yeah, we are on the precipice of the U.S. Open. We have been hearing from the players about how incredibly difficult this golf course is and how it's the hardest golf course in the world. I have seen some crazy lines on scoring averages and cut lines and winning scores that we can talk about tonight. But let's kick it back to you, Boston Capper. So I went 2 hours with a 112 slide PowerPoint. Sorry, Jessica. I say PowerPoint again. So I guess you've been digesting content for 2 days now. You've been watching live from Oakmont, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess where's your head at right now as far as what you're looking for, or maybe like, is there anything that like, kind of like what you thought about at Quail Hollow where people are saying a certain narrative and you're like, well, wait a minute, like maybe it's not that easy.
Yeah, and so kind of the same thing here, but it's just the paralysis by analysis I think I get at this point with every fucking major for how long we've been doing it, and then the stuff in the Discord and 9,000 different opinions and things like that. It kind of muddies the water. But I think everything we said on Sunday night on the shit we're looking for is still the stuff we're looking for. There's some trends that are interesting that I'll ask you about that I don't remember if we covered or not because it was a 2-hour show. But yeah, I mean, look, it's all the big dogs, right? I mean, all the videos coming out are hilarious. They asked all these golfers today. I'm sure you didn't see it. Like, what a 18 handicap or a 15 handicap would shoot around here. And they're like 150. And I was like, yeah, that's probably accurate. But I'm not a professional golfer. What are you going to do? I guess Rory said he shot like an 81 today and he didn't even play bad. So how much of this is fucking noise? How much of this is real? Look, we know the rough's going to be tough. We know it's going to be a driving test, maybe not so much an iron test. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of lost at sea, trying to formulate my end strategy. I only have a few outright bets just because I'm so terrified of the top of the board, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to bet Scottie at 2.5 to 1. I don't necessarily want to bet Bryson at 7 to 1. Whether that's the right decision or not, usually is not in an event like this. But I just don't feel it. And then, like we said, I got a funny feeling about Jon Rahm, and I start to feel good about Jon Rahm again. And it's like, I don't know. You're my therapist on these nights, bro.
All right. What was the funniest like Oakmont fail video from the players that you have seen this week?
It's still the Zach Johnson one from 2016 and falling in the sand bunker. It makes me laugh every time.
I have completely forgotten about this one. Describe the scene. He fell in a bunker.
Yeah, he was standing on the side of a bunker, like a really awkward lie. Like couldn't get his feet. He kept slipping down the bunker, coming back up, slipping down the bunker, hacked it, didn't go anywhere. Slipped down the bunker, came back up, hit it again, slipped back down. It was just great because I hate Zach Johnson so much. It just brought joy to my heart. I think I watched it on a loop for no lie, like 4 or 5 minutes.
All right, so maybe that tops the when he accidentally hit the ball on a practice swing at Inman Corner. That got captured there.
Much better.
Maybe
much
tops that. All right. Well, I have an epilogue to the slideshow from Sunday. I gave you a homework assignment. I am pretty sure you did not follow the homework assignment, actually do the required reading for tonight. Okay. All right. So then
I forgot until you just told me. I was busy today.
Okay. Well, then I guess you're just going to get an incomplete for the pop quiz I'm going to give you for it. So let's share my screen. Let's do an epilogue to what we talked about. So there's two things. Actually, there's a couple things I want to hit on. And this is going to kind of, I think, formulate. Maybe this will help you.
Okay.
The things that I gathered last night from Jeff Shackelford, who puts out a great newsletter called The Quadrilateral. Every major he goes to, he puts out course notes, weather notes, puts out videos of the course conditions, anything unusual he puts out. And this one in particular was extremely helpful this week. And it kind of helps solidify my view of what I'm looking for. And maybe that'll help you. So let's talk about the rough. Let's go back to this picture from Bryson DeChambeau with his practice round back in May. So this actually was something I was watching live on Golf Channel, and they had Bob Ford on, who was the ex head pro at Oakmont, and they were actually talking about the rough. And what I had not realized back in 2016, this is kind of an interesting point. I don't think it's going to matter as much, but back in 2016, the rough was not nearly as severe and penal what it is this year. Back in 2016, this was still the old Mike Davis USGA with a graduated rough, where you have primary cut, then like another cut that would be a little longer, then you have like the really thick stuff like way out. So that rough was about 3 to 4 inches, and then it graduated to about 5, like way out. This year, the difference is that it's uniform 5 inches. So as soon as you go from fringe or intermediate cut, goes right to about 5 inches. And because they have not had a lot of rain today and tomorrow, they will be able to top off all the rough, make sure it's nice and uniform. So that is a difference between 2016 and now. Is the rough is definitely more penal. That is definitely, I think, why we are seeing guys say that over and over and over. So that is going to be a significant problem for missing fairway.
Everyone.
Yep. For everyone. But there's something they are doing to help the field out, and it's called the bevel cut. Do you know what a bevel cut is?
I know what it is when I'm doing woodwork. I'm making a little curve.
Exactly. It's kind of like that, what you do with the grass here. So this is something that the USGA did at the 4-ball at Plainfield Country Club, which was, it's I think it's a really short course. It's Donna Ross, but it hosted, I think, a FedEx Cup playoff event like 10 years ago. But they had the 4-ball there, and what they wanted to do was, and they were experimenting with it, was create, because they didn't want to penalize balls that started in the fairway and rolled into the rough and would have a really crazy lie. And they thought that really wasn't fair. And especially a place like Oakmont, where it goes from intermediate to 5 inches, they thought that would be pretty ridiculous to have like a good drive, but because of how severe the topography is, ball rolls off and they're just punished for it. So what they're doing is they actually adjusted the mowers to do a bevel cut to where it's kind of angled up. Mm-hmm. And you can see here that this is the 9th hole, where if a ball does roll into the rough and against the primary rough here, it's not going to get buried in this. So that's essentially insurance to somebody who hits a good drive, but maybe it just catches the wrong side of the slope yeah, they're going to roll in the rough, but it's not screwed. It's not dead. So that's something that's very interesting. They have not, this is, I think, the first time they've done this in a while. It's been a while. I don't know if they've done this before, but Shackelford made reference to like this is something that most courses don't do. You look like what
do we know how far off that bevel cut stats?
Well, so this is about, I don't know, like a yard or so.
Okay,
And then it
so
just
I mean,
rolls
look,
in.
yeah. So I mean, you can still fly it in there if you're still on, like on this picture. If you're on the right side of the green coming in hot, you're still getting buried.
Well, this is the fairway. It's not the green.
Yeah, not the green. Sorry. Oh yeah, the right side of the fairway. You're still getting buried.
Well, yeah. So I mean, well, it's not bury. It's just if you just roll in it, it'll just nestle right here. This is the
right.
worst.
What I'm saying is if you can fly it in right where that's not
sure.
going to affect it, and if you're coming up that side of the fairway where the bevel cut is at, and you're coming in hot, it's not necessarily going to stop that. Now maybe on the opposite side of the fairway or center cut fairway and drips in, it'll stop it. But if you're coming in any type of hot, I still think you'll get deep in there.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, the membership at Oakmont wants to punish these guys, and what are William and Henry?
Fucking assholes.
They're assholes. And if they go just like a 6 inches, like if it rolls in, and this is him measuring the rough, it goes straight to the bottom. Anyways.
Love it.
So, but basically what this does is it just acts as more insurance to prevent just bad luck and unfairness and kind of take away a wing foot element to that this could be if it was running really firm and fast where balls just roll everywhere. You can't control it. And even good drives get punished. This is a way to mitigate that. And combining this with the fact that the fairways are really soft. One thing he actually noted, he had some observations for comments, and he had this observation that, hitting fairways would definitely be key. But I've been struck watching tee shots at how little roll there is and how much wider it makes them play. So we're talking all about this thick penal rough and how difficult it is. But at least with how the fairways are up until last night, and they got more rain, these things are very soft and receptive, and they're definitely inviting and accommodating for a good drive to stay in the fairway. So that is helping people make it more fair to, if you hit a good drive, you're not going to get punished for it. And guys who have good driving weeks, is just reinforcing kind of what we talked about on Sunday. So guys who have good driving weeks, guys who hit it fairly straight, they're going to get rewarded more than those that, miss the fairway there. So,
yeah. So I watched some stuff today where they said like the wind and the sun kind of got a little firmer and that the rain missed them today.
Yeah. So it will get a little firmer the next couple of days. I still think it's going to play receptive enough to where,
Gotcha.
At least the fairway stays soft. The greens will firm up though, because there is sub air and there's sun and wind that'll help that. So probably a little more softer fairways, firmer greens would be my take. And Justin Thomas also, like in his interview, said like the fairways are extremely soft. He can tell they've got a lot of rain. So that'll help those guys. And then another thing, this is about just general scoring, and this was a kind of an interesting point that Shackelford had is. Again, he was just kind of responding to rough and how tough it is. And, I think he reminded everybody that, wind and firmness is definitely more brutal to these guys. And he made a point that if the rough was 3 inches, more guys would play toward the greens here and get in trouble. And hacking out to 100 yards, he thinks that actually will make fewer bigger numbers. So he thinks -5 will win. And I've seen a lot of crazy scoring props and cut lines and just... It feels like I've been in the situation before where we've seen so many like videos come out about how tough it is. And we just kind of get gaslit into thinking this is impossible. But these guys are world-class athletes with superior equipment. And the fact that there really is not going to be a lot of weather elements, like at least like wind, or it seems like this golf course, if it does firm up, it's going to get soft again over the weekend because it's going to rain some more. And usually what happens with that is if you there's been cases of when Oakmont's gotten some rain and plays a little softer, guys can go low there because, if you just have a great driving week, that'll help you. So that kind of just reinforced it for me that I still think the winner is going to have some length. Like one of these guys who's an elite driver is going to have a DJ week. and just length just helps you anywhere. But just at the end of the day, like it's between the softer fairway conditions, this bevel cut that is going to help guys like at least not get completely screwed. Just good drivers. It's so paramount to drive it well this week. And that definitely formulated a lot of my betting card where it's guys that I trust to drive it really good this week. Guys I just trust that have been driving good this year. Good experience driving it well on narrow, thick, rough, long golf courses similar to this. And that's basically about it.
Okay.
It really just kind of reinforced what I'm thinking. And I also think it's going to be brutal for some guys, but I think we might be going a little overboard with some of the props and the lines that have been set this week. And I bet I went against everybody and went under on some of them. So we'll talk about that.
So I saw, I guess we could talk about that. It was the winning score over under prop. And I thought it was like easy under when I looked at it, because it only takes one golfer. And so we could talk about that, I guess, when we get to it.
Yeah.
Hard Rock actually offered me the special, and Hard Rock has actually offered me without Scottie lines and without all the big guy lines. So now I'm really in a pretzel because I've never had to make these fucking decisions before, and I think that's really what's fucking me up. Because the Seminole tribe have finally heard my screams and pleas to be, an actual sports book instead of just a place to take tattooed faced asshole Floridians' monies.
Yeah, well, they know it's the public will get action this week, and so they gave you a little bit bigger menu to deal with.
Sons of bitches.
There you go. All right. So I had already, because I was just in Discord, just chopping up today, and they posted the tip chart, so I have already seen it. So I will quiz you, Boston Capper. There are 8 names on this list.
Okay.
Kick it off.
Board.
Who's on there?
All right. So I know there'll be 3. I know there'll be 3 off the jump. I know Cantlay will be one because of the number.
Yep. The number they have here is 33, which is definitely not a number. You can get better numbers on him currently.
Yeah.
He's number 8.
Offering him 45. Oh, he's 8.
He's number 8 on the list.
Interesting. Okay. Seb Straka.
Seb Straka is number 3 on the list.
Okay. Harris English.
Number 2 on the list. Disappointing. Okay.
I know. Yeah.
60-1, by the way.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, thanks. So, all right. What about Rahm?
Rahm is the number 1 tip golfer this week.
Well, hey, listen, I mean, Fox was number 2 last week, and I feel like the chart's hit. So
yeah, and you know what? Look, I would imagine if this was around for U.S. Open Torrey Pines, Rahm would have been the number 1 tip golfer that week too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Big chalk.
Yeah, all right.
So you're good. You're clipping these off pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I think those are the easy ones for me. So now I got 4 more.
You have 4 more. You are missing 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what about Neiman?
Neiman's number 6 on the list.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Big chalk this week.
All right. Corey Connors.
Corey Connors is not on the list.
Okay, so
strike 1.
3 to go.
3 to go.
Oof. How about Keegan on the list?
Keegan's number 4 on the list.
Fuck. Okay.
Okay. You got 2 more.
Who do I got? What number? 6 and 7?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. 5 and 7. 5 and 7. Nobody likes Xander right now. Nobody likes Rory right now. Nobody's stupid enough to bet Fleetwood, I don't think. JT's too squirrely. So under 50-1 is nobody likes Morikawa. Are we going back to Ludwig on long and straight? Steven.
Ludwig is number 5 on the list.
All right. So I got 1 more.
Mm-hmm.
How about all right. How about I'm trying to look maybe a little deeper down the board? Maybe not. Nobody likes Berger.
Burgers, strike 2.
All right, so last
Burger.
one. I don't know, man. I was looking a little deeper down the board. All the stat guys love him. Fuck it. I'll go with Colin Morikawa.
Nope. All right, we can do it.
Who did I
Number
miss?
7. Coincidentally enough, 7-1. The big boy, Bryson.
Oh, damn.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Okay. I didn't think somebody that high up would make the tip shot.
Well, I would probably think that it's probably futures at this point.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
people
that's
just
true. That's true.
betting it like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, last year at better numbers, and he's just on the chart. So
That's fair.
Yeah, well, yeah,
That's
keep
good. That was
in
good
mind
though.
for,
I did good.
You did good. I mean, no surprises. Like it seems like everybody's going for elite
Ludwig's
drivers,
a little bit of a
long and
surprise.
straight. Well, elite driver, long and straight, and I just I would imagine the Ludwig one kind of like I think at the PGA he was on the tip chart.
Yeah.
I think people have just bet him like for futures, and they don't want to miss out on him.
Okay,
but like but for the characteristic of just like long and straight, that basically sets you up for everything. That makes sense.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
A little disappointing, but
let's go and analyze this board. Let's talk about the big 4. Okay.
Yep.
All right. How scared are you of Scottie this week?
Like I am every week. He's the best golfer on the planet, and why wouldn't I be scared of him? Like he does. Like I know he's not as long as Bryson, and the putting can be woes. And if what we were talking about as far as approach game maybe being negated slightly here, it takes away his biggest strength. But he's still the best golfer in the world, and I trust him to be able to get up and down from any spot. Every time I think he's fucking dead when I bet against him, he's up and down for a birdie. He's not, you know what I mean? Like or not up and down for par, and it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. So yeah, I'm terrified of Scottie, but back-to-back majors is tough. I'm not betting a 3-1 number ever, so I think I'm more scared of him on it's more of a conversation DFS than for me to outright bet him.
Okay. What about top 5?
What's the price?
Let me pull it up. Well, I'm seeing the best price available. He's mostly minus 150 everywhere there, but if you go on Bookmaker, you can get him at minus 115.
I guess that doesn't really get me going. I'd rather just put that on a matchup somewhere than have to be rooting for Scottie to finish in the top 5.
Okay. All right. I can tell I'm on a delay, by the way. So
yeah, you're definitely on a delay. Yeah,
this is freaking perfect. Thank you.
This is like this is 2004, 2001 to 2004 when I was in, or 05 when I was in the military, and then 07 when I would be calling my wife with a payphone card. You guys remember calling card minutes? We'd talk on a payphone. There'd be a fucking 10-second delay. That was super fun.
Yeah, it might be a trip to Best Buy tomorrow after I snap the router over my knee after this for ruining one of the biggest shows of the year. That's great.
It's all right.
All right, let's maybe ask this question. Do you see this being a Pinehurst situation for Scottie where just things kind of go a little sideways for him and he completely combusts?
No, I think maybe that narrative has gotten blown up a little bit more. And look, I've definitely been running with it that he doesn't like adversity and things like that. But I think he's just proven to me over and over again that like I'm just an asshole and I'm looking for a reason not to bet somebody who's 3-1 when he's clearly the best golfer on the planet. And I'm looking for reasons to bet him, and I'm confirmation biasing things with narrative.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that with this place.
No.
Especially with some of the modifications they made with the bevel cut, just like preventing that if you are on that street of just like if there is bad luck and he goes on tilt, well, that would help him where he would hit a good drive and it doesn't roll into the rough and it's unfair. Like I know that we showed examples on Sunday of balls just rolling off the green, but that's more of a byproduct of just you didn't hit a good enough shot, not necessarily at Pinehurst where he hit a good shot, but because the greens are so slick and the turtle back nature, they just roll and roll and then they don't stop and they go into a horrible situation. That really made him upset. Plus like the putting. So I don't see any of that. Plus just thinking about it conceptually, like I showed you the DJ stat line. We didn't have strokes gained, but
Yeah.
like taking distance out of it, like Scottie could easily hit 65% of his fairways and 75% of his greens and get up and down 75% and not even putt all that great like DJ did on the week and cruise to a 5-shot win. Like
100%.
in his sleep. So I'm debating just doing the top 5 because I just don't see a world where he's not in it. And I think just for outrights, obviously I didn't bet him. I didn't do the without market either. I'm kind of just hoping maybe what happens at like LACC where he just gets got, or Brookline where he just gets got by somebody else. He got lucky, and just targeting, elite drivers who can demonstrate the ability to separate in that department. We'll talk about the iron stuff in a little bit when we, start helping guys who actually bet. But I'm terrified of Scottie this week.
Yeah, as you should be.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the people that, if you are like trying to make cases, I mean, it's a flimsy argument in my opinion. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Bryson, 7-1.
Yep.
Got in his press conference today and actually kind of confirmed a lot of what we talked about on Sunday as well. This is not wing foot, where there are holes where he can bounce the ball to the green, but there are others that he doesn't. One thing I actually noted too, that one of the media members, apparently Bryson didn't know about going down wrong fairways, and Bryson got this crazy look in his eye.
Oh no.
He's like, oh, I'm going to go find out about this. And I'm like, oh no. Like me personally, I think that's going to go horribly wrong.
Bad.
If you try
to bad for him. Yeah.
Well, if there's somebody who can break a golf course, it would be him. And if he ends up doing that, and I'm gonna be pissed. I want that guy's meeting.
Do you think he was just playing with the reporter? Like
he might have,
because he's so prepared. Like I don't think, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
I mean, I know guys are doing it in 2016. I showed you an example of Bubba doing it. He got punished, and he was at that U.S. Open. But all right, so he's 7-1. You said he didn't bet top of the board.
No.
Like, is there any Bryson on your card? Like, what? Like, are you looking to fade him? Are you looking to like maybe do a positional? What do you think?
So I have him in a matchup that I don't even really like, but it's just what I always do. And it's just plus money. And it's only just because it's plus money. It's not even because I'm really sold on the bet, but I always, this is what, you know me, you know the bet that you could probably already say what the bet is.
Is it Bryson over Scottie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus money. Plus 150?
Yeah. Plus 150. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you think so that's your way of saying, okay, like Scottie, you're terrified of him, but Bryson beats him. Did you consider a straight forecast of Scottie Bryson?
I don't have that option. and in what planet does that ever happen? That never happens.
That happened against you at the Houston.
Well, not like that. Like, I mean, it's like when the top two guys finish 1-2.
I mean, Pinehurst last year, Rory Bryson.
I guess. Well,
yeah,
that's true. No.
Yeah. So, again, like if I made this point on Sunday, if Bryson can drive it as good as he did in that video, and he has driven it extremely well. Like he obviously hits it farther than everybody, but he hits a fair amount of fairways for how far he hits it now. It's scary. Like it's no longer like just I'm going to hit driver and it's going to land in the rough and like, oh, gouge out. Like this is, I'm going to hit driver and I'm going to knock it 3 steps, like 60 down the middle and stuff it down everybody's throats at this point. Like that's what I'm terrified of, where he can just do that for 4 days. But it kind of came down to just construction of the betting card for me. And I was able to fit more guys with another premium player. I was actually fit surprisingly a lot of players because there were some guys that I liked that fell to like 65, 70, 80 to 1, and a couple of guys over 100 to 1 that I had either futures on or I just liked, that I put together a good card, and I couldn't do that with Bryson. So, and I have enough there's a path where I can see like just the driver doesn't work one day and it just blows up in his face.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, because you can get a really crooked number on a bad day here, where you just shoot yourself out in one day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he gets it going, a couple 5, 6, 7 stretch hold where he just loses control of the driver. He mentioned also as well, like the driver, he seems like he's getting a little bit better control of. The golf ball, which has also been an issue for him, is a work in progress. So, yeah, I mean, that was enough for me. The fact that I didn't like the construction of my card with Bryson on it. That was enough for me to not have him on it. But it's not like a lack of endorsement. Like if you bet Bryson this week, like clearly whoever wins this is probably going to be like at least top 5 in driving this week. And there's absolutely a path for him to do that. So, the irons are definitely a concern. The distance control can be a concern, but like if you're just driving as good as he can do it, it's not going to matter. So, all right. So let's get to Rahm then, because I feel like this is the one you want to bet.
Yeah.
Did you bet him?
No.
You didn't.
I have room.
You have room to bet him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I ended up betting him because there was a window.
After you said you had bad feelings about him on Sunday night.
I mean, I do because I have bet Rahm a lot in major championships, and it just like I'm still scarred from betting him at Valhalla last year, and it just incredulously just went sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't trust that he's this new Jon Rahm that's not a hothead that won't slam the putter or break a tee box. And but just the characteristics I'm looking for at 14-1 of a guy who absolutely can lead the field in driving, who is long and straight. The iron numbers are starting to trend up with him as well. And it's been good on golf courses that reward strategy and can be really, really penal, like Murrayfield Village, strategy with Augusta National. And I think him getting in the mix at the PGA, even though it didn't end well for him, was enough to light a fire under him. And I had high hopes on him.
Got that taste again.
Yeah, I had high hopes for Rahm this year. I bet him at the Masters, and he played okay, but I thought this was going to be a big year for Rahm. And 14-1 that I got him at was able to fit a lot of things I wanted on my card. 12-1 probably would still be able to do that too. I'd have to chop a couple guys, but I bet Rahm at 14.
Okay, I like it. I have him available at 12, so that would be the number I would have to bet him at.
Okay, all right. Let's get to Rory. Did you hear his press conference today?
I saw a couple snippets of it on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure Kyle posted some shit in Discord that I saw as well.
Okay. Did it only just reinforce your beliefs about him?
100%.
Okay.
I feel so justified with my take.
All right. So I'll say this. Every time you have said that, where just Rory has like just checked out, because I've read the Bob Rotella book. Golf is not a game of perfect. And obviously he's worked with Rotella. And there is a poignant moment in the beginning of the book where he's talking with I think her name is it's some LPGA golfer. The name escapes me. Okay. But basically it was similar to Rory where she was winning, but she wasn't winning the big tournaments, and she wanted to reach her dreams, and he worked for years with her, and finally she accomplished all her goals. She wanted to win a major, player of the year, make the LPGA Hall of Fame. And then after that, she goes up to Bob and says, we got to talk like immediately. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, we accomplished everything. She's like, no, we got to talk about what's next. What's the next dream we're going to chase? And that's, I think, a very important step for Rory, is like you mentioned, where he's reached his dream. He's accomplished it. And watching him today, it seems like he is struggling with that very fact. And hearing him answer when somebody asked him, what's his 5-year plan? And he had absolutely no answer. I remember that part of that book. And you're right. Yeah. He is clearly dealing with something at the moment. I was actually getting FOMO because he is drifting and he went back to the old driver. But, and I hate doing this because like this is such narrative street and it blows up. But there's something going on with him, and it's troubling, to say the least.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not touching the number. Like, I'm good. If he beats me, then it's good. Good for Rory. Like, what a fucking year. Like, because that was my initial thought. For everybody who wasn't listening, like I thought maybe after the Masters, like, lids off. He's gonna run the table on everything this year. Or like everybody watch out. And then you could tell it was just the complete opposite reaction. Yeah. So yeah, I'm good with Rory for probably the rest of the year.
Would you go as far as fading him in matchups this week? Would you entertain?
Yeah, probably.
That?
Yeah,
okay.
Depending on the matchup. The matchup I had available was not good.
Okay, let me throw a couple out, like theoretical ones out for you.
Yeah.
What about Jon Rahm minus 135 over Rory?
Yes.
You would absolutely do that. Heartbeat.
Yes.
Okay. How about Colin Morikawa as a underdog at minus 105 to Rory?
Pretty sure that goes against my religion.
Okay. All right. I mean, will you be back in a Northern Irishman that goes against your heritage at that point?
It's very true.
So there you go. How about Xander minus 115 over Rory?
I guess I like the first matchup a lot better. I don't know if I can pull the trigger on that one because I got questions about Xander too.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to him in a little bit. So if you had a Rahm matchup available, you would lock that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. As everyone knows, I've retired from matchups, but I like that one too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
All right, let's move down the betting card. Let's go between like 20 and like 50 to 51 or so.
Okay.
So where do you want to go here? Like, what are some names you like, interested in? Maybe some guys you don't like. Who do you want to talk about first?
So let's talk about Morikawa, right? So
okay,
gutless weasel, right? Like should win more than he does. This is supposed to be a long, tough golf course, but he's showed up at these places well because he hits the fairway. What are your feelings on Morikawa this week?
I mean, I kind of alluded to it. I talked about it on Sunday when we were talking about the game, where it seems like his big problem has been when there's been wind or adverse weather conditions. That's when it's gone sideways. But he's got off to great starts at like the Philly Cricket Club. He got off to a great start in Murrayfield Village, and then just the wind kicked up in both situations, and he was awful both days. We're not going to see wind.
No,
the weather is going to be really warm and humid, which kind of favors, I think, him as far as it's going to make the ball fly a little farther for him, shorten it up a little bit. The humidity is going to make it a little more receptive. Like I feel like, yes, the greens are going to be firm. They're sub air, but kind of like at Augusta National, when you get humidity in the air, it makes it just that much more receptive to make a little bit of a difference. We're going to get that this week. It's going to rain over the weekend, although maybe that might not be good for the house cap. But I think a lot of his issues have just been, he's having trouble controlling the ball with that, with his fade in the wind, and we're not going to get a lot of wind. And you talk about super accurate, the fact that the fairways are going to be relatively receptive. You got the bevel cut to help him out. I feel like this is my point with the irons is that you can look at just the rudimentary data, like just a good ball, being a good ball striker. But at the end of the day, I think it just like the guys who are just in the fairway and driving the best are going to be able to excel in the approach game anyways. Yeah. So, and also as well, like we're not talking about crazy scoring. We just need you to just not be a screw up and like dump it in a bunker or airmail a green. And Morikawa, he has been as sharp with his irons, but I trust him not to do those types of things.
Yeah.
And if he's in the fairway a whole lot this week, tee to green, he'll be fine. Now, I don't think he's going to win because I just think a guy with a lot of length is going to end up winning.
Yeah.
But I bet him top 10 without dead heat plus 180.
Oh, I like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think he's going to be in the mix. He hits the right shot shape here with the fade. And this was my December pick to win the US Open. So it would be fitting if I pivoted week of.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And only had the top 10. So I can Vic Lab that, I guess.
Absolutely. So I bet him top 20 at even money.
Oh, okay. All right. So you pulled a me, by the way. You went down the top 20s on that.
I did. It's just because, like you said, really, I'm terrified. Like those top three guys, how much win equity do they have, man? They have a lot of win equity, especially on a course like this. So it's tough. Like I got my guys down the board. I got like a bit guy who I haven't bet in forever on the card. But yeah, like it's I'm terrified of those top three. I think I'll probably join you on Rahm, and then that's what I'll be sweating out. And, I mean, everybody else really. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So what about Jocko? Right. I know he's getting a lot of steam because he wins every other week on Live, but he's a knucklehead and he sucks balls at majors. Sands the last one. But I mean, I have no interest in him at 25 to 28 to 1. None.
Yeah, I'm just not touching it. If he burns me, he burns me. I just we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
When a guy like this gets a lot of steam, is super chalk.
Yeah.
And let's also remember too, like, yes, he got the top 10 at Quail. It was a complete backdoor. And he was not a factor in the entire tournament. And it just seems like it can easily go wrong for him. And if he hits, listen, I love Joaquin Niemann. We've hit outrights on him in Live and PG Tour. Yep. And but yeah, I didn't bet Niemann. He might factor into another prop bet I made later that we can talk about though. So,
okay. But yeah,
so
I think JT's dead on arrival here with how he sprays his driver.
I would agree for betting purposes. If you want to do DFS, yeah, he's gonna have low ownership, but yeah, like no one's putting a gun to your head to bet JT this week.
No. So who do you? I mean, do you like anybody from like I guess from Lowry, Straka on down?
Well, I mean, so we skipped over Xander.
Yep.
You know, the good U.S. Open history. We touched on this on Sunday. His driver is so erratic, and like you're not getting a discount on pricing with him, not even for like a top 10, and like that can just go very sideways for him. And it's just somebody that I'm not just looking to bet this week. So,
I'm with you.
And yeah, and then Ludwig, Ludwig was one of the guys I was very close to betting.
Really?
For an outright because of just how good of a driver he is. He has been a little better last couple weeks. I just think that he's just a little too sloppy in certain areas, and that is going to bite him this week.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like I said, like we've said, I'm fine. I hit my Ludwig outright this year. I can wait until he shows me something else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's a couple guys I consider for positionals down here, and these are more shorter guys I don't think are going to win, but they're just really good drivers. Feel like how the conditions are setting up with the turf conditions of the bevel cut. It's the fact that like these guys gain a lot of strokes through hitting a lot of fairways, and that's going to be fair this week. That was some top 20s I wanted to bet this week.
Yep.
I don't necessarily have to hit all of them, but I think I can hit at least 3 out of 4. And I feel pretty good about these ones. Sepp Straka, top 20, no dead heat, plus 140. Yeah, we just saw him handle similar types of greens to the Philly Cricket Club. So that'll be okay there. Gains a lot of strokes. You know, he's definitely short off tee, but been driving it really good all year long. I have confidence that he can do it here. You know, there is a little bit of crossover with like some Open Championship stuff. He finished second at Royal Liverpool a couple years ago, finished top 10 at Oak Hill a couple years ago as well. Another big, tough, thick, rough golf course. So he can do it those types of conditions. I thought top 20 plus 140 was pretty good. Also bet top 20 on Corey Connors plus 140 with no dead heat. Again, good success on long, difficult golf courses. Super accurate, hits it straight.
Great,
he doesn't have quite the right shot shape here, but with how soft I think the fairways are, that might not matter as much because basically it might just stop as soon as it gets there. Little concern with how he might handle the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I bet him top 10 and top 20. Like I really like him a lot this week.
Yeah, he putt like ass last week, but he hit the ball pretty good. I had a bet on him foolishly, but he hit it really good. And I think. Again, like if you're just, I feel like a lot of warts that you might have at other golf courses is going to be mitigated against the field if you are just so steady and rock solid tee to green, especially off the tee. So those are 2 ones. And then I'll say the other 2 for down the card because I actually bet those guys outright, and those are over 100 to 1.
Okay.
But there is a guy in this range. I'm nervous to say it.
I already know it. Go ahead. So ridiculous.
Are you disappointed in me?
Yes, I'm very disappointed in you. I like you know what your ROI is going to be on a 55 versus 20? The exact same. The exact.
So you
same,
saw
Steve.
so you saw that comment in the Discord there. All right, so you already knew.
Yeah.
Look, you know, Pat showed up the apartment, and he hadn't shaven for a
Brought
couple
flowers.
weeks, and he had some BO, and I just felt sorry for him, and so I invited him in, and we had a cup of coffee, and we talked it over, and I ended up just betting him at 65-1 that he fell on DraftKings. I can't believe I ever would get a Cantlay 65-1, which you're right, it's probably an ROI of 0, but fits just a lot of stuff I'm looking for as far as just like solid driver of the ball, good length, decent accuracy, plays a lot of boring golf, good on some of these Northeast classic golf courses. And yes, he has changed. Okay. This time, for the 90th time, he has finally changed. I just thought that was a good number for Cantlay. And I couldn't get out of my head too, like, two things. One, how the hell did he just compete and contended Pinehurst last year out of nowhere? And that sometimes is a telltale time for like you're on the precipice of actually winning one of these things. And kind of like with Morikawa, like I just feel like the form's not as bad as what we might make it out to be. He played pretty well on Sunday at Truist. He completely gagged on the back 9 at Memorial, but he was playing relatively well for most of the time. And also, I don't have a lot of weather concerns at this tournament, like Morikawa too. So,
whatever. I'll call the Ronald McDonald House. I'll have him get your room ready.
Okay. No, you don't have to do that. Just have like just order a pizza and we watch a movie and we just talk, about how you were right and I was wrong and how you're good looking and I'm not. So, but I bet Cantlay at 65-1.
All right, gross.
Okay,
gross. I bet Spieth.
Okay, you did.
I did. After you talked to me about it, and it was already kind of rattling around in my brain. I think the number's good, just like you think Cantlay's number's good. He's a roller coaster. He's my type of golfer to bet on because I don't like boring golfers. I want somebody who gets my blood pressure through the fucking roof and makes me hate myself for betting him. And like you said, he's driving the ball a hell of a lot better than we're used to, and he's got the magic beans. And yeah, fuck it, man, 60-1. Nobody's talking about him. He's got a shaky U.S. Open record. I'm just betting the ceiling.
Yeah, I went back and forth on betting him outright or betting him positional, and I ultimately decided to join you
instead. Oh yeah,
no, I bet him as well. Listen, that's the thing. Like, he's 70-1, and I didn't bet anybody else up top besides Rahm, and I was able to actually fit together a decent card where I put him together. Where look, I mean, I highlighted him. He's driving it really good, and he's been pretty erratic. This was another comment I wanted to make about like the iron game is, the numbers aren't quite as good, but I feel like if you're just driving it really good all week, it's going to kind of take care of itself. And you're right. Like even in bad situations, he can pull a par out of his ass.
Yep.
And I thought it's 70-1 with how, some good performances he's shown this year with how well he's driving it. He's got some good length, hits a fade as well off the tee. I can see that.
See it.
In my head. So I bet it outright at 70-1.
Yep. Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. What about some other guys down here? Like, you got any belief in like Ben Griffin or Hideki or who else?
Fuck off. No. Decky's just playing too bad. He doesn't look right. Look, that's probably when he comes up and gets you. But I've been on him enough this year where I'm good. Like if he gets me, he gets me. I've lost enough with him. I'm not betting Ben Griffin at a U.S. Open and his stupid fucking aviator sunglasses. That's enough for me. Victor is too squirrely off the tee still. Never ever Henley. Brooks is dead. Burns is a loser. My guy Keegan though.
Do you actually do you actually think he can win though?
Maybe. I mean, he's 90-1 for a reason, right? But I feel like his ceiling. Why is Ben Griffin 75-1 and Keegan is not? His player profile is much better for here. Was long and straight off the tee. He can putt. It's been shaky, going back shaky a little bit lately, but I mean, listen, the guy's already a major winner. He's been playing really, really good golf. It's 90-1. He's my guy. Why would I not bet him? Okay. Like if somebody like if it's long and straight, get the iron up to the right level, 2-putt and get out of there, then yeah, that's fucking Keegan. Please. Like it's not I need a birdie here. It's a not miss it on the edge, right? And just tap it in, right? I'm not gonna be angry when he misses the fucking 5-foot birdie. I'm not. I'm gonna be all right, get a par, get out of there.
All right. Well, I don't know how many 5-foot birdie attempts.
All right, you know what I mean.
It might be a 5-foot bogey, but even so, like, apparently with how these scoring props are, everyone's going to make bogeys this week. There's going to be a lot of bogeys. And as long as you just avoid like the doubles and triples or like the endless train of bogeys, which sometimes Keegan can be susceptible of. But I don't really have a rebuttal to any of that because I also bet Keegan at 100-1. I am on that train as well. For all the reasons, like, again, like I'm looking for guys with the length to win here and the good solid driving and like the guys who are going to be the best tee to green here, they're going to elevate. And putting, I'm not so much concerned with because we saw with that leaderboard, either the form of the guys who were in the top 10 coming in, it was all over the map as far as how they were putting it. And guys were even 3-putting at pretty high rates in tournament in the top 10 and didn't affect them. And I feel like Keegan can win. I think he can win, actually, given what he's been doing. Like, it's not like a situation where he's like, oh, just average length. Then like he's driving it extremely well, like some of his peers who are younger. And I think he can do it at this golf course. So 100-1 on Keegan. We also had talked about on Sunday, we both had bet Harris English a week ago. I am upset that he's number 2 on the chip chart. Apparently everybody did the same thing, but similar vein. So why you recap why you like Harris English this week?
I mean, his won his U.S. Open record, right? I get that, but at least he plays long, hard golf courses well. He hits the ball, moves it along, putts well. He looks like a goober, man, but that guy gets the job done. I mean, people sleep on him. I mean, he's coming back off an injury. The man was on the Ryder Cup team, fucking sicking putts and draining putts until Karen derailed his career for about 6 or 7 months because she called in that his putter had something hanging from it and he needed to regrip it. And he was lost after that for 6 months. And then he got an injury. But he's a good fucking golfer. Like, he is a good golfer. He's got the stones to win tournaments like this. Shit, what did he already win this year? He already won.
He won Torrey Pines. He really did Torrey Pines.
Yeah, he can absolutely win. That number was silly. Now at 60-1, I'd probably give it a little more thought, but 125-1, absolutely, all day, every day.
Yeah, when I was rewatching the 2016 U.S. Open, I actually just saw Harris English kind of flash like on a shot at one point, and I was just thinking like, God, I could absolutely, like, I just started to get the mental image of like his highlight video holding the trophy or just coming down on Sunday, like in the mix at Oakmont, just like the smooth tempo of his tee shots, just on a rail, hits every fairway over and over and over, about like 300, 305, like he usually is averaging. Just boring, not flashy golf. But he just ends up either falling to a win or just making a crucial putt, maybe down the back 9, and he gets it. And unfortunately, he is massively chalk. I know that his like short iron approach numbers, like on paper, are not very good. He's had some disastrous performances in that category this year. Overall, though, just hitting his irons relatively well coming in. And I just like with the irons, I just need you to not be a knucklehead. Yeah. Like, just don't put yourself in a really bad, like, don't squander a bad drive with it. And I don't think Harris English is the type that if he's playing well, he's going to do that. He's going to just kind of plot around and be consistent and tread water and be there, I think, on Sunday with just good, consistent driving and ball striking. So,
love it.
So, yeah, 125-1 for him.
I bet Scam Young.
And you're knocking me for.
I never bet Scam Young. I haven't bet this motherfucker in years. All right. And I make fun. I knew he wasn't going to win on Sunday. I don't really think he's going to win, but whatever. 125-1, bombs the ball off the tee. Showed me a little something on Sunday. Obviously not the same type of course, but does show up in majors historically. Bomb and putt. Yeah. We'll give it a whirl at 125-1. I don't have the scar tissue the rest of these crazy Scam Young backers have, but look, at 125-1, I had room on the card, and for the upside of the guys around him, I'll take his upside. It would be fitting for his first win to be a major when there's only like the few sickos left on him, and then a couple randos jump on and actually cash a big ticket after everybody's been losing money on him for fucking 4 years.
All right. Yeah. I get it because he's got definitely the distance and could, be top 5 and off the tee. I don't think he's gonna be. I think he's too big of a knucklehead sometimes, and is gonna hit not enough fairways this week. I feel like
That's fair.
Actually do that. So, remember on Sunday I was glossing over Taylor Pendrith and just said, you know what, probably just bet him positional, but I'm good on missing the outright. Well, I was looking, and it turns out I actually bet Taylor Pendrith already at 180.
Nice.
That was a future
number
from a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it is a good number. So you know what? I am on that soon to be sinking ship at this point. No, I'm kidding. No, Pendrith, he's got a good US Open track record. He did well at Winged Foot, did well at Pinehurst last year. Great driver, good, long iron player. I don't know if he really actually can win, but I thought for 180 to 1, given like his attributes and how good of a driver he is, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that number, fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah, definitely. All right, how about guys like 101 plus that like maybe you might consider for like a positional, or anybody else like you consider for like an outright win?
Not really.
All right, want to throw out some names to you?
Yeah.
I know you laughed at Mad McNeely on Sunday, but his profile is not awful for this place.
He is mentally weak. Weenie. I'm good. Pass.
Okay. I mean, he's a good driver. He's got above average pop off the tee. I mean,
I dipped my toe in the McNeely
important.
once. That's enough for me.
Okay.
Very good.
How about JJ Spawn going back to somebody you might not think of for this place?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could be sold on him. What's the top 20 number on him? I don't think he can win.
Probably get like
3-1, 4-1.
Probably more than that, but no, driving it really good, plus distance, plus accuracy, good long iron player. Yeah, I mean, like that would be a good profile of just like, yeah, you just had a great tee to green week, and that could work out for him. So like, I didn't dabble in the top 40 market just because it's Oakmont, and I just feel like this place can absolutely just brutalize people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I barely got a top 40 on him at Quail Hollow. So I feel like I'm good on Spawn, but I feel you could probably go back to him at this place.
Yeah, maybe.
Torbjörn Olesen, good showing last week. Good driver again, decent length, decent accuracy.
Yep.
That could work out for you. Carlos Ortiz playing pretty good on Live this year.
Yeah, I don't know enough.
He's been driving it pretty good this year.
Yeah.
He's always been kind of I would say a decent driver. Driving it good this year. Like again, like I just feel like that's just going to help you a lot this week. He's hanging down 200 to 1. I don't think he's going to win, but surprise top 40, surprise, or not surprise top 40, surprise top 20, top 30 finish. You could do that. Our
guy Bridgman.
I don't know if that's going to work.
I don't think that's going to work
this
either.
week.
I think around the greens is neutralized too much.
Yeah. I saw you talking about Matt McCarty in Discord.
Yeah, that's more of a DFS thing. I wonder if he's a little too short. He played well at the Masters. Seems like man, he won his first tournament coming off of Corn Ferry. I know it was Black Desert, but
yeah, I mean, he hits a lot of fairways at least.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. He's definitely
not bad.
Maybe a fucking top 20, maybe. But like he was more of a I'm looking at like guys like him and Gotterop and fucking shit kickers like that for like the bottom of the barrel DFS plays really as well.
Mm-hmm. I might actually. I know I said I wouldn't bet top 40s. I might dabble in Victor Perez, although I don't think he's ever made a cut at a U.S. Open. But
really, he's like a pretty heavy favorite for top Frenchman too.
Yeah, I mean, Devon's boy Provon is scuffling a little bit.
That's a little bit.
But yeah, listen, like Victor Perez hits a lot of fairways, driving it relatively well recently. Coming off a good showing at Canada, that could work out for you. I feel like Nico Echevarria, that's another guy that just hits a lot of fairways, decent iron numbers. Showed up all right. Did all right at Quail Hollow about a month ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So those are just kind of some names I might consider or I would consider for a top 40 if I was going that market. But those are some guys on the board I kind of like.
Yeah, that's fine. What are your thoughts on betting like without the big boy markets?
No,
Okay.
I didn't do that. I'm just going to take my chances.
I got you. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm probably, if I bet Rahm, I'm going to have to do the same. So, because I don't even know who they. Oh, so that was the other trend that I didn't. Did we talk about it on Sunday? How many like first time major winners come through this U.S. Open?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably as relevant as if you can only win the U.S. Open if you're between the age of 26 and 32.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you want to go over some like scoring props and cut line props?
Yeah. Because I have. Yeah. 'Cause what do you think? What are you seeing for winning line?
Okay. So it opened at 278.5, which is minus 1.5, and at minus 120. I bet that immediately. It has been bet down. At least the money's come in on the under. I've seen on Bet Online to go down to 277.5. And it's just what you mentioned kind of at the top of the show, in that it only just takes one guy.
Yep.
And I know we've been ginned up about how difficult it is and how the membership likes to punish people, but it's kind of always been the case at Oakmont.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, we're not going to get a lot of wind. You're going to get relatively soft turf conditions, at least from tee to green, to help these guys. It's not like in 2007 where it was just concrete in the fairways and the ball, everyone would just be in the rough at that point. It's not a Shinnecock Hills situation where it just was mega firm and windy. Even Winged Foot was pretty windy and firm, and we're not going to get either of those this week. So I just feel like,
the last 10 years, the only thing that has been higher than -4 has been Koepka at Shinnecock +1.
Yeah, because it was because they literally lost control of the golf course that week. Yeah. And that's another thing to keep in mind too. Like, this is no longer the Mike Davis USGA where they're looking to embarrass these guys.
Right.
They do set this up a little more fairly. And also too, like I've noticed at a couple US Opens, even the Winged Foot one, where they kind of ease guys in. They don't set it up quite that bad on day one because they don't want to just completely embarrass these guys.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying it's going to be like, oh, like +1.5 scoring average. Like, it's going to be brutally tough, and there's going to be guys who absolutely screw it up. But like, there's going to be somebody who just has an awesome driving week and keeps out of trouble and plays boring golf and kind of do what DJ does. And I think they're probably going to run into like 4 under, 5 under at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, so I took the under on that. I also looked at the cut line. Do you know what the cut line?
I didn't see that.
What do you think it is?
+5.
It is 147.5, which is over under +7.5.
Ooh.
Which again,
crazy.
It's so here's what you got to consider is it's only top 60 in ties.
Yeah.
So like, where do you think realistically, like after 2 days, what's the lead going to be? Like 5 under, 4 under?
I was going to say 4. Yeah. I was going to say 4.
Okay. So basically you're saying like whoever's leading is 12 shots ahead of the cut line at that point with like top 60 in ties.
Yeah.
And again, I just feel like we've been in this situation before where we just get gaslit about how difficult a golf course is. And we forget these guys are athletes and use superior equipment and hit it a long ways. And I think that's a little too severe. I think it probably +6, maybe +7. Right. I don't see it getting a +8 for a cut line with only top 60 in ties.
No, I don't think so either.
So I bet that under. Spots. Yeah, so I bet the under at -115, and it went to -130 pretty quick. But you can still get 147.5 out there.
Okay,
all right.
Nice.
And then the last one is the number of live guys who will make the cut.
Oh shit! I wish how many guys are playing.
Okay, so there's 14 guys who are playing this week. And the over-under is 7.5. So basically 8 out of 14 would have to make it. Okay. No, so we already just said it's only top 60 in ties. So really only about like 42% of the field make it actually to the weekend. Let's go over the list. Okay. You tell me if we can get to 8.
Yep.
Bryson.
Yep.
Okay. That's 1. Jon Rahm,
Yep.
Joaquin Neiman.
Sure, for shits and gigs.
Okay, but that one can definitely go wrong.
That's not a guarantee. No,
It's not a guarantee. Terrell Hatton.
That's not a guarantee either, but sure, just for the sake of the argument.
Brooks.
No.
Okay. Patrick Reed.
No.
Okay. Cam Smith.
No.
No. Dustin Johnson.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Carlos Ortiz. I think you make
Maybe. I'll give it a half. We're 4.5.
Mark Leishman.
No.
I've seen some disturbingly a lot of Mark Leishman chatter in Discord. I think you all forget how quickly like +5 through 11 in the first round can happen for him.
Oh yeah, I remember. God,
and I know he won Doral. He's a shit driver. Like,
terrible.
He's lost pop. He's erratic all over the place. Like that.
Yeah.
Like he
Hard
could be
bats.
like 6 over through the front 9 very easily. So
hard pass. All right. So we're 4.5 so far. 4.5.
Okay. Phil Mickelson.
No.
Okay. Richard Bland.
No.
He might have 250 yards into every green. So he might have to lay up short of the cross bunker on 8 because I don't think he can clear it. Jinichiro Kazuma.
I won't even pretend to know who the fuck that is.
Okay. He's on, I think, the Ironheads with Kevin Na. And then Jose Luis Ballester, who was the
kid who pissed in the
they signed. It's the guy who pissed in Race Creek.
Yeah. He's good, but I don't know enough about him.
Okay. So you basically only said 5 yeses.
Yeah, that was iffy.
Yeah. And like, who's to say that like Rahm doesn't completely bomb out or Neiman bombs out or Hatton bombs out? I think Hatton will make the weekend, but like there's a lot of guys on this list who have question marks with the driver. And that's like the paramount thing you absolutely have to do this week.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing though. So I was just staring at this all day. People are betting the over on live guys to the point where
bots allowed to bet.
So it got jacked up to +115 for the under. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll jump in at this point.
Yeah.
And it actually, I got bad CLV. It's actually currently a +135 for the under.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they don't offer it, I'm gonna write my Hard Rock guy and be like, hey, can we get this out, please?
I'm almost wondering, and I noticed that people were betting the over on the live guys after the cut line prop came out, and I'm almost wondering if people just saw like, oh, +8 cut. Yeah, we'll get more than like 8 guys. They're gonna be better than +8, and that's not how it works.
It's not how the maths.
No. So I went under 7.5 lib players make the cut at +115.
Nice.
Okay.
Like it.
That's
so
it.
Devin's got a quick question. So first round 3 ball. I love that. Devin, that's my jam.
Rye versus Leishman and Dunlap.
I will say I have an odd feeling about Dunlap. I've been staring at him. Now, granted, this means fucking nothing. This is like a witch staring into a pool, all right, or a pot of whatever. Yeah, I don't know. His name keeps popping to me. Like I looked last week. I was like, oh, he's trending a little bit. I didn't even see what he did this week, but I've been burned on these 3 balls where it's like I'll slam dunk fucking like there's no way these other 2 assholes are gonna make it, and some guy I've never heard of goes out and shoots fucking -5 and immediately ejects the next day, but broke my ticket.
Yeah, here's how it'll play out. Rye shoots 6 over on the first round and loses to Dunlap, who shoots 5 over, and beats Leishman, who shoots 13 over.
But in the 3 ball streets, that's the way it goes, and I like that. +120 is fine.
There you go. Okay. All right. You want to recap everybody for your betting card?
Yeah. So I got Spieth, Keegan. I'm gonna join you on Rahm. I'll just do it as soon as I'm done. So I'll join you on Rahm, Spieth, Keegan, Scam Young, and then we have English from prior top 10s: Morikawa, Connors, Keegan, Young, Connors over Decky, and Bryson over Scottie for my matchups.
Okay. All right. I jumped it when the brief window earlier this week of Rahm 14. He went back 12. I would still bet it at 12. Cantlay at 65, Jordan Spieth at 70, Keegan Bradley at 100, Harris English future at 125, Taylor Pendrith future 180. Top 10 no dead heat on Callum Morikawa +180. Top 20 no dead heats on Sepp Straka plus 140, Corey Connors plus 140, Keegan Bradley plus 225, Harris English plus 225. And like I just mentioned 5 minutes ago, I like the under on the winning score, 278.5. I think somebody is going to get the 2 under or better in the tournament. Under 147.5 on the cut line. I think that is just a little too severe. We're getting gaslit a little bit this week. And then under 7.5 lib players make the cut at plus 115.
Yep. Well, it's U.S. Open week and it's Father's Day this Sunday. So everybody out there who still has your father, make sure to give him a call. Tell him you love him. Spend a good time with your kids and your family. Don't let it waste on a good Sunday. Even if you happen to just sit down and watch the U.S. Open, enjoy the time with the family while they're still here. Steve, I assume we'll still be doing a show that night, and we'll hopefully be celebrating a Rahm victory
or a Keegan victory.
That would be much better, but I was trying to keep it more realistic and go with Rahm.
There you go. Yep, we'll be doing a show on Sunday evening, breaking down, for whatever reason, another signature event after one of the best events of the year.
Yep. But hey, listen, more good golf for us, more good golf courses for us. It's the Travelers, right?
It's the Travelers. Maybe we get the protesters come back again to ruin an outright bet for you.
Motherfuckers.
I'll have to recycle those. I'll have to recycle those slides from the Canadian Open just to
make me angry again.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, let's go break them books this week, fuckers. And like I said, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. And see you fuckers on Sunday. Bye.